Ta-da! Success. Okay. Does anybody have anything that they want to say to open the meeting that they want to make sure we cover? Or our trainer says, does anyone have any emotional outbursts, questions, comments, or emotional outbursts? Hearing none, we'll go on to new business. Billing Mala for lost, damaged, in transit items. Some of us have been talking about this the last couple of weeks, that it would probably be a good idea for the circulation committee to come up with a recommendation to take to the membership about things that are lost and damaged in transit. The circulation policy is in line with everything that all ILL policies have said since the dawn of time, that once something leaves the owning library to be used at a borrowing library, the borrowing library is responsible for that item. However, at Missouri Evergreen, we have never charged the borrowing library for things that have been lost and damaged in transit. Everybody tries to track it down, and if it's never found, we just kind of mark it missing and hope that something will happen. But there have been a couple instances recently where a library's been charged for something damaged in transit and for something lost in transit. So the circulation committee needs to think about this and come up with a recommendation. Thoughts?
My thoughts, as a director, it would be a billing nightmare if we had libraries do both billing Mala and billing each other. It just needs to be a concise process that we and follow the chain of command, if you will. We bill Mala for lost, damaged items. We bill other libraries for lost books or lost damaged items in transit. That's the keywords, in transit. And we bill other libraries for damaged items that are not transit related. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that your patron damaged my item. So,
right.
So your library needs to pay for my item, or your patron took it and never brought it back.
Right.
But yeah, that makes sense to me. Instead of me paying you for something that was damaged in transit and then me asking Mala for a reimbursement, that just sounds like an awful lot of paperwork.
Right. And isn't there already something in our, we have the billing mechanism for Mala already set up, right?
Right.
Okay. Is Mala not been responsive in paying for items? Is that where the issue lies?
I don't know. I don't know why this kind of happened all at once. And even though it doesn't happen very often, it's a good eye opener to say we need to just spell it out so that we prevent, so everybody knows what happens. Rhonda's not here. Is Janice here? Janice, Meredith was going to be in the car. Leanne, Sandy, Belinda, you have some input on this?
I mean, I kind of agree that it makes sense that if you know that it's transit related, just to directly bill Mala and, keep the other library out of it, as long as, it's verified that it was, in transit. And that's where also we'll bring up, make sure our staff are using those damaged item slips, that way we can verify that, hey, this might have been actually here before transit anyway.
Yes, using the condition report form.
Yeah, condition report. Yeah,
condition
thinking the right term.
But not tape. No tape
Right,
on the
right.
condition report form.
Flip it between the pages.
Well, and then I see where Belinda, she said, sorry, I can't talk. I do think directly billing Mala is a better option because that is the issue.
Well, if everyone is on board with that, we'll write something up and take it to the membership, just so we can get it in our best practices documents, so that there'll be something to refer to when this happens. Thumbs up, everybody, thumbs up? Thumbs up, all right. Let's see, exceeds checkout count bug after changing patron profile. I know, I'm not sure exactly what Rhonda's referring to here, but I know that when if your item limit is 25 and your patron checks out 25 items, it
Diane?
says, yes,
Sorry, I can speak to this actually.
okay, great.
Mike, our IT guy, he works with me on circulation issues, and he had contacted Equinox because when a patron first signs up at Carthage, they are probationary and they're allowed to check out 2 items at a time for the first month. After that, we switch them over to either resident or non-resident, and they can get 20 items at a time. However, when we're changing the patron type, the number of checkouts isn't immediately changing. So we change them to non-resident, and then they come to the desk and they're blocked and they can only get 2 at a time. And so Equinox did confirm that it was a bug because this behavior has not happened in the past. In the past, it was immediate. We would change the patron type and immediately be able to check 20 out to the patron. And so in the next, I think in the next maintenance or 2, they're gonna fix the bug, but he had put something on the listserv, I believe, to make everyone aware that this is going on.
Yes, that sounds familiar now. So it doesn't change it for that checkout? Does it change it like in 24 hours, or they're just stuck?
It's just, we don't really know. We don't, and that's the best we get from Equinox. Or the best I understand is that
Yeah, my
we're not.
understanding is a little bit different on that one. My understanding is that there is what's called a refresh button. There is a means where you would manually hit refresh when you change a patron category like that, and it updates it. So in Darcy's situation, her probationary patient, the refresh button would be struck, and you would choose that, and it would update the account then with the correct ramifications for the patron. That's my
Okay.
understanding of it.
Okay, that's great. We will, I will check into that with him.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, and it's nice to know that they're already working on a fix for that. Reminder to check individual discs and multi-part items before check-in. Somebody must have been having an issue with receiving a 5-part disc set with only 4 right discs, and the other one belongs to the patron. So make sure to check every disc in a multi-disc set. That makes sense, and it's a good reminder for everyone. We have the first regional circulation refresher training session planned for November 17th at Scenic Regional Library. And we started a list, an internal list in the circulation committee of items to cover in those trainings. Plus, Mickey shared with us the results from a recent Missouri Evergreen training needs survey. This is a big topic for discussion because some of the things that people requested were very basic and some were more advanced. The committee has all of this information. Do you have recommendations of what can be struck, what can be added. We're planning the training to start at 9:30 with coffee and donuts, and then at 10 o'clock actually start the session. And go for, I don't remember how long it says we're going to go, 4 hours. I don't know. We're going to break for lunch. Scenic's going to provide lunch, and then go into the afternoon. So we can have 4 or 5 hours of this, but we don't want to spend time on something that's a waste of time, and we don't want to leave something out that's important.
Diane, generally speaking, when you do training for your scenic staff and for others, do you generally separate the training into staff side training and then OPAC training, or do you combine that? What's your general approach?
When we train new staff, we do OPAC at the same time, so that they'll have answers for questions that patrons might have. So we mix that in with the circulation training.
That makes perfect sense to me. Does that seem to suit everyone else's training model, where you refer to the OPAC and what it looks and feels like at the same time you're training on the staff side, because that's where most of the activity, the 99% of the activity, is going to take place for staff members?
And if you have questions about training staff, tomorrow at the MLA conference, Megan Maurer, the Assistant Director of Scenic Regional, and I are going to be doing a session at 1 o'clock, talking about how our staff training has evolved, not just circulation stuff, but everything. I think the OPAC is an important thing to include. Some other things on the list: offline circulation, creating staff accounts. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on just standard checking in and checking out materials. People have asked about how to create carousels in the survey. A couple people mentioned carousels. I have created carousels before, and I always go to the Evergreen documentation and follow step by step. So I don't have that memorized. I use the Evergreen documentation, which I think should be part of this regional training, is showing people what is in that documentation so they don't feel quite so lost. One person suggested that we have like a basic Missouri Evergreen procedure manual. Of course, we won't create that in the training, but that's an interesting idea.
It is an interesting idea, because I think right now what we have on our website is Scenic's training manuals. don't we?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and some of that is Scenic specific. So you
Right.
might read that and think, well, we won't do it that way, won't do it that way. I to strip it down and just create, instead of my 100-page manual, maybe we could do a 50-page manual if we strip out everything that's Scenic specific.
Right. Interesting. I like that idea.
Diane, you said something about a session at MLA. Could you repeat that information, please?
Wednesday at 1 o'clock in the Kalahari room. We're going to do a session called Start Strong, Stay Strong, about training new staff. And it will include, of course, we will shine at circulation. And I will give a plug for Missouri Evergreen, but we also do things, we're going to talk about Dewey Decimal training, patron customer service training, We'll show the binder that we have with all these tabs for all these things, contact with personnel, our databases, downloadables, that kind of thing. We do it over 2 days. We'll start with me talking about how when I started in 2006, there was no staff training and how we've gotten to where we are now.
Diane, is the session called Start Strong, Stay Strong?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Diane, can you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
I'm finally here.
There she is.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what is going on my end with Zoom, so I'm just logged in with my regular Zoom account. Unfortunately, I can't then show you some of the stuff I was going to, and I don't really know where you are on the list.
Well, we're in part 2D, regional circulation refresh.
And so were you able to show everybody that shared document we had that had the list of things we wanted to cover?
No, I have, I'm working at a branch today, so I don't have my,
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yeah.
have my files either. I did find the agenda for today, so I shared that.
There you go. What I think I will do at the end of this meeting is send out to the whole CERC list a list of everything that the CERC committee thought we should cover, and then ask for input if there's any additions or subtractions or changes that you that the whole broader circulation Missouri circulation world would like to see us do. We'd like to know about that ahead of time. Also, then hopefully my plan is at the beginning or near the beginning of next week to send out more information, more than nuts and bolts about time and lunches and all of that pertinent information that you need to get there and be ready to go when we get there. So I'm so sorry that I can't show you what we had today, but like I say, I will email it out after this meeting is over.
That sounds like a great plan, Rhonda. I think that's pretty much where we were in the meeting, is just talking about the important topics for the pilot training. So I think you nailed that one, and I look forward to seeing that. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else that we need to add on this, or I just want to put out a call for another circulation committee member. One of our members has retired, and so there's room on the committee, and we would certainly appreciate someone who's interested in circulation to step up and let me know that they would be interested. I would get with you then and kind of explain kind of what goes on in the circulation committee and what kind of requirements that would be. It's not terribly time consuming, but we would certainly appreciate another person from another library system coming to join us. So that would be wonderful. And you could just email me that information and then we'd go from there. So moving on to old business, we talked last month about perhaps creating a training video for check-in modifiers, and Mickey got online with, or called, I'm not sure, called or got online with Equinox, and they sent us some videos that they had already made. So this is wonderful. Here's the link for those. Along with that original link, they also sent us a link for additional training videos that they already have created. Most of them are less than 5 minutes long and deal with a specific topic. So you could go in, and if you wanted to find out about checking things out, look at that video. If you wanted to find out how bills work, you could go in and look at that video. So those are already available, and I have included the link to those in this agenda. So take advantage. They're quick, pretty easy to get through. Good training for your staff at each individual library. So finally, is there anything else that anybody would like to bring to our attention, bring before the circulation committee?
Yes, Rhonda, there has been some discussion recently in some emails from member libraries that have talked about transit slips. And I just wanted to remind everybody how important it is to always have transit slips for your materials that you send out to other libraries. It's really important, particularly at multi-location and multi-branch libraries, that a transit slip be in the item that's received so it can be effectively and efficiently processed. So just a reminder to everyone, please put transit slips in your items when you send them out. Thanks.
All right, anything else? All right, my plan is hopefully to get with Shannon after she gets back from MLA, because from my end, I am now officially locked out of getting into this meeting. So I will try and get with her, get that figured out. Hopefully going forward, that won't happen again. I don't really even know what happened this time, but there we are. So anyway, look for that email from me about what we want to include on that circulation refresh. The other thing I would say along with that is this is our pilot program, the first one that we've ever done. Our intention is to take this on the road, so to speak, to other areas of the state. So if your library would be interested in hosting it and you are in a different part of the state, please reach out to me and we can start working on plans for bringing this show on the road, so to speak, to help have a in-person circulation refresh in other parts of the state. So just reach out if your library would be interested, and we would love to start working with you. Is there anything else?
I want to add on to what Rhonda just said about this specific training that we're going to be having at CNIC, that everybody I talk to really wants to get together with other Missouri Evergreen library staff and talk about the nuts and bolts of using Evergreen every day in their library. So this is really a chance to do that. I know some libraries have difficulty getting away. I don't know if your library board would allow you to close the library for a day. I don't know if a library will allow you to do that, to have one day off to come to this meeting of the minds. I originally told Rhonda that we could have 30 people, so everybody could have 2 people at a table facing the screen, the projection screen. And I said that to Steve, and he said, we've had 100 people in those rooms before. When we have our staff development day, you just put people on both sides of the table and it's worked out fine. So there is really no attendance limit, because I don't think we'll get 100 people, but don't worry about having too many people come. Bring everybody from your library if you want to. Like I said, we're going to provide lunch and donuts and coffee and a great drive in rural Missouri.
That sounds great. And I was going to say, I haven't discussed it with my director, but just thinking once we have our new Monette location up, we have a very large conference room. And so, we might consider hosting sort of the southwest corner meeting possibly.
Is this Leanne saying?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so Barry Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I
that'd be
said, I haven't
wonderful.
discussed it with our director, but I was just kind of thinking, we would have, an appropriate facility to do that coming up
Wonderful.
after the first of the year.
Okay, that would be great. We'll let you kind of talk to the powers that be there, and perhaps we can get something up and going in the new year. So that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
All right. Calling again. Anything else? All right. Thank you, Diane, for kind of taking over there and working through. I called Leanne and said, I tried calling Diane first and said, I can't get in, but she didn't answer. So I called Leanne. And just thank you that there are people in the committee who can step up and I am so appreciative of that today. So, all right. If there's nothing else, have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Enjoy your time at MLA if you're going or if you're already on the way and just phoning in. Hope you have a wonderful time.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Rhonda.
Rhonda.
Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
everybody.